Let us be clear. This model is limited to expansion in the non-permanent category only, that this model merely tinkers with the status quo. It's not intended to bring out real or comprehensive reform that member states and their citizens are aspiring for, and the UN is found wanting. India will constructively engage towards the realization of a reformed and efficient UN Security Council. India welcomes the engagement of the Principality of Liechtenstein in presenting an updated model. This reflects Liechtenstein's desire for a stronger Security Council. My delegation agrees with the assertion that the UN Security Council in its current design is detrimental to the credibility and effectiveness of the UN and must be addressed at the earliest. We need a UN Security Council that reflects the new multipolar world of today. In this regard, we are also in agreement with Liechtenstein's addition of having at least one member from the small island developing states. My delegation does not support any claims being made by so-called cross-regional groups on the basis of faith or religion, which cannot be the sole basis for representation in the Council. My delegation would also like to engage with Liechtenstein on the question of representation itself. This model does not extend veto powers to any of the new members. In addition, the creation of the category of long-term renewable seats for 8 to 10 years does not again address full representation of developing countries. We do not accept this position. Further, the inherent contradiction in Para 2 between permanent basis and renewable term stands out as a key defining feature of the amended model by Liechtenstein. My delegation points to the text of footnote 1, which refers to the question of creation of new non-permanent seats. Let us be clear. This model is limited to expansion in the non-permanent category only. The semantics of serving on a permanent basis as contained in Para 2 does not accurately reflect this essential point. Once we agree on this aspect, it's clear that this model merely tinkers with the status quo. It's not intended to bring out real or comprehensive reform that member states and their citizens are aspiring for, and the UN is found wanting. My delegation also seeks clarity on the reason for bestowing a special status to some cross-regional groups, especially the League of Arab States. Other regional groups such as the African Union, the OAS, and even the European Union could have a reasonable case for such representation. India underscores that equitable geographical representation in the permanent category, in particular the inclusion of regions such as Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America and the Caribbean, is essential for a legitimate and effective council. My delegation will continue to call for a constructive and democratic approach as stipulated in the UN Charter and Resolution 62/557 that created the IGN. A record number of heads of state and government and foreign ministers have put their weight behind the need for reform during this high-level week in their national statements. At this time when multilateralism is facing so many challenges, we should rise to the occasion. We must begin text-based negotiations at the earliest to address all 5 clusters holistically. India will constructively engage towards the realization of a reformed and efficient UN Security Council.